flagship store in Matthews Hill. Get me some green. And it is the third Saturday of the month, which means we are doing our coffee talk with our favorite, Mr. Ken Newbill of Newbill of Health. So good morning, buddy.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
How's your month?
It's been excellent. It's been great. Getting ready for Thanksgiving, getting excited.
Let's just talk about it. We're getting ready to close out 2020. Screw this year.
Shut it down.
This has been crazy. I can't even imagine the stories we've been getting from our clients this year about what's happened to them. I will be very glad to close the books.
All right.
But in some ways, it's been an amazing year. So I don't know how many of you have had transformations, whether it's forced or wanting it. 2020 has brought forth a lot of transformation, a lot of detoxification, both physically, financially, mentally, but it's been a lot of changes for a lot of people, and not all of them have been bad. A lot of things have been good for a lot of people.
Plus some good things are
So we moved our store from one location to another, so that was pretty fantastic. And you've been working on launching a new program, which comes out in January, you guys. And we'll talk about that for our January talk. We're going to actually feature that, and he'll be able to tell you all about the new programs that he's rolling out. So 2020, even though it was stressful, stress pushes us out of our comfort zone.
Been really uncomfortable this year.
It has. But with uncomfort brings massive opportunity for growth.
It's time to expand.
It's time to expand. Yeah. So today's topic is
the liver.
Okay, good timing for New Year's and the holidays.
So it is Saturday. I don't know what you're doing to your liver right now. It's been doing
too much tea.
It's been a tough year, so it's been a tough year on the liver.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what does that mean? You know, because most people, I immediately go liver. I think, holy crap, people have been drinking a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Right. But there's more, right?
Yeah, and being stressed out. And just think about how people were before we even went into COVID-19. It's not like most people were amazingly healthy.
No,
and then
that's
we
true.
get hit with this major stressful, event, and it's affected people in lots of ways. So this is a great time to talk about, one of the most important organs in the body.
So why would you say that? Because I would think the most important organ is going to be your heart.
I know, right? Got to pump some blood.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of stuff your heart doesn't do, right? So that's what we're really focusing on today.
Think about the liver is known, and this is early. There's still a lot of research to be done on the liver. We still don't technically have a extremely validated method to understand liver performance.
Okay.
Which is weird, right? You would think, really? We don't?
By now?
Yeah, but my doctor gave me enzyme tests, and I'm like, these are just very light glimpses into just a small catechism of what a liver's about. Because it's extremely complex and diverse. Something that does...
We got our first question.
500...
Can you show us exactly where the liver is in the body?
Well...
Okay. Anatomy 101. I've programmed it so all of the chats come up online, so I don't have to get up. We can see comments now, so that's awesome.
Crazy.
So, show people where the liver is exactly.
Let's see. Well, you want to see that?
Oh, sure. Okay.
I got them on.
Am I backwards?
You're back.
Okay. So it's this way?
Yeah. So it's just mid. Oh, you're left, right?
I'm on camera, so it's hard to say. All right. So this is what we're talking about here. And why? So most people think that's your digestive tract. So talk to us a little bit about what does our liver do?
Well, the liver's responsible for exactly, right? It's a lot.
Okay.
We know of at least 500 processes that the liver's responsible for.
Okay.
Just start there. About any chronic disease anybody would ever have means you have issues with your liver. Well, it's probably also compromised. It's broken down as part of the immune breakdown sequence, and it's responsible for filtering your blood.
That's its main purpose.
That's its first main big purpose, and it filters it from two different directions. So it's filtering it not just from your heart, but it's also filtering it from your digestive system too.
So it's coming both ways. So this is a double acting.
Yeah. Busy. Hardworking. Juggernaut, super important piece of the body.
So how do we keep our liver going? What do you see in your line of work? Some things wrong with people's livers, and maybe that's not the right word I want to use. How is it not functioning the way it should be, and how does that affect people's health? Like, what are some signs for me to say, wow, I should really talk to someone about my liver functions?
Well, that's the thing, is some symptoms that some people might experience could be something as simple as chronic constipation. Could be a big starting point as an indication.
I've never had that problem.
Never.
Never. Never.
A lot of our skin issues are often liver related. So, you know,
what do you mean, like eczema skin issues?
Eczema, acne, even, you know, people with like weird oils and pus pockets and stuff. Yeah, because the liver's number one responsibility is to filter toxins, right, out of the blood. And if it can't keep up with it, then other parts of our body have to take over that load. So it happens in two places. It happens through our skin, but then it can also happen with, and it can also, those toxins can then start being prioritized to go into fat cells. So this now creates an even more difficult problem for people that are obese.
Okay, now we're getting it. Okay,
yeah.
So I can hear digitally ears perking with that. So
yeah.
When you say it goes into the fat cells, what do you mean by that? What does that look like from a scientific standpoint?
Yeah, well, just think about prioritization of where to store toxicity. So if the primary storage facility is overloaded, meaning the liver is now saying, I can't take any more, I'm overloaded, I need to reprioritize where we put things. Now, the fat cell becomes this gate of opportunity to be used as storage. So the liver said, I need to use fat cells as a storage facility. I need to extend my ability. So I need kind of like a public storage facility, and I'm going to use fat cells as that opportunity.
So does that mean when people talk about how they detox, or someone does a detox program, there's various types of detox programs, and you often hear people say, I got so sick.
Yeah.
Is it because those fat cells are kind of like wringing out all that, and all those toxins that have been stored are now released into the bloodstream, causing people to get sick?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I think it's pretty smart when people are about to make a really drastic shift in losing weight.
Right.
I really want to lose weight. I'm going to go hard at it. Really going to focus on it. People can get into a rhythm where they're going to lose a lot of weight, but they may not feel that well because they're also going to be releasing a lot of toxicity. So if they didn't do any pre-work, trying to kind of clean up their body a little bit before they got into this.
Right.
You know, it's just a good idea to do that.
So
if you
let's
can kind
describe
of get
what
into
that looks like, just
yeah.
really quick. Think of this analogy. You need to, if you're going to wash your floor, you're going to grab a clean bucket and a clean mop to wash your floor. In your body, it's the same way. You wouldn't start washing your floor with a dirty mop and a dirty bucket.
No.
So when your body's that toxic,
it'll smell like feet if you do that.
right? And when your body starts to store toxins in its cells, and this is just layman's terms, this is what I'm hearing. It's the equivalent of cleaning your floor with a dirty bucket. So you really want to clean the bucket before you mop the whole floor.
Well, you're going to ask a lot of your body. Like when people have been gaining weight for a long time, and you haven't done much with your health in a long time, you're getting really motivated and charged up. I mean, we're about to get into resolution season, so might as well put it out there. People are going to start to get activated.
Okay.
Want to do something.
First of all,
right?
There's no such thing as a resolution season. There's a resolution choice. We as human beings have to stop saying, oh, it's January, we need a resolution.
We gotta do it.
Just do that shit now. Start your resolution now. You don't need a date, because all that date is an excuse for you to prolong your own health, your own future, and the things you want in your life. So don't wait till January. Start that resolution now. And if your resolution is losing weight, you can have a cheat day. It's okay. Here's a newsflash. You won't die from it. Promise. Just saying. I had to chime that in there. Because it's a pain point for me.
It is for a lot of people. They just keep falling into the same trap.
Yeah. So what should we talk about as far as liver today? How can we start loving our liver a little bit better and giving it some grace to help detoxify us.
Well,
right?
you know, with anything that in health, there's stops and starts, right?
Okay.
There's always some stuff that you should stop or control or reduce.
He's about to tell you not to drink for New Year's.
Or-
I'm just telling you in advance.
Or, you know, on the flip side, there's some things that you can do. So let's not start with the obvious things, right?
Okay.
Let's just start with some very basic daily things you could do to just gently enhance your liver, right? So first let's talk about this real quick. Liver cleanses and gallbladder cleanses, okay? Don't take those things lightly. They're not for everybody, and they can be really aggressive. So you really should consult with someone before you do one,
Right.
because you might not be in a good disposition to handle the load of what's going to hit your body.
And what does that mean? What's the negative side effect
Well,
of that?
if you start forcing things, because it's a force, it's a push, it's a purge. We're going to ask the liver and the gallbladder to purge,
Right.
meaning that we're going to release gallbladder stones and little, lipid balls of gunk and funk into the body, which is going to release more toxins into the body. You got to be ready for this, right? It's not something that is actually good, so it's going to put a lot of load and a lot of stress on you. So you may not know what's really going to come after that. What's the side effect of doing that if you're not really prepared for something like that? So those types of things, I think, should be more of an emergency situations. And for most folks, we should do very gentle daily things to move yourself out of a state of poor, sluggish liver into great performing liver.
You know, I think people oftentimes, when they think of their personal health, they just think, oh, that sounds good, I'm going to diet. Or, oh, that sounds good, I'm going to cucumber cleanse. Or, oh. But what I've learned with my months of working with you, and just some of the things that I learned from Ken has nothing to do with losing weight. It has to do with understanding how your body works, because that understanding lasts forever. And with that understanding, you can maintain health forever. And one of the things that I've learned is, even myself, we just assume, oh, we need to fix this, da-da-da-da, like just tying your shoes. But think of your body and healing your body a lot like baking. You can't put flour in the oven. Nothing will happen. You've got to mix the flour with the eggs, and there's some prep work before you go to the baking side. So anytime you're dealing with something with your body, and this probably is one of the most valuable lessons I've learned from you, do the prep work. Read through the recipe. Right? Read through the recipe. Understand what the outcome is going to be. Don't just jump into the outcome. And it's weird for me to say that as a Tony Robbins junkie, because I'm all about think about the outcome and then work your way backwards. But in some ways, it's the same. Think about the outcome. You want to cleanse this, you want to do that. But work your way backwards and what steps that's going to take, because
it's hard.
It's very much a process like baking. So anytime you go into a journey for your health, whether it's cleansing your liver or detoxifying or a fast, think about the steps to prepare yourself for that. Athletes don't run marathons without training.
No, you don't. I don't think I ain't running for sure.
Well, I just don't run, period. Not unless my butt's on fire.
But just jumping into a couple of things daily. All right, in the morning, a simple glass of water with lemon. Very simple daily thing you can do.
Not hot though. Warm.
Just cool to warm. Room temperature's fine. That's it. And that little step helps nurture your liver. It just wakes it up, gives it a little vitamin C, starts some hydration. It's been working really hard at night.
Why not apple cider vinegar? I've had people ask that.
They're different. They're just different substances. You know, I'm not saying ACV doesn't have a place. Some people may prefer that acid, but I think they'd be drinking it for a different reason. I think they'd be drinking it mainly for some type of gut response versus a liver response.
I don't think a lot of people know the difference.
Well, they both can work in different capacities. I just think liver is probably more palatable. Lemon is probably more palatable to people than vinegar.
Now, I've had people ask, can I use lime?
Mm-hmm.
Do lime and lemon pretty much, they have the same effect.
Yeah. I don't know, I think.
Lime's better on tacos.
Or in mojitos, right?
Yeah, right.
I guess.
So that's what I do. I start my morning with warm lemon, but I put it inside a turmeric moringa tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting my turmeric in the mornings too. But my dentist hates it because it stains my Invisalign, but it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So simple, right?
So that's simple. So what would something like that do? You said it starts your liver up.
Just stimulates.
When you mean it starts up, does that mean it's processing things better, or what does that mean exactly?
I think of it as more like a cleansingness opportunity. It just gives an opportunity for it to hydrate in the morning, process something light, and release. It's been working really hard all night. By the time we wake up around, I wake up around 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's kind of just ended its process. It's kind of going through its reboot sequence, overnight between the hours, really strong, like between 2 and 4 for most people. Right?
And that's when most people wake up to poop. When people say I wake up in the middle of the night, it's the truth.
Yeah.
So that is the time most people, I know a lot of our clients here have said, I wake up and I always ask what time. It's always between like 2
and 4 o'clock.
And like 4:30. And they're like, and I always go poop. And I'm like, there you go. And now we know why.
And some people don't go poop, they just are disturbed.
Yeah, they're just
because their liver may be working hard. It's just working harder. So if you are the kind of person that maybe you're just starting to see that pattern because you didn't realize it was a thing, right? Now you know it's a thing. Start looking at some of the things.
What time are you waking up?
Yeah. What are you putting in your body?
So a couple of signs so far, just to keep track for you guys. First, if you have chronic constipation, that's a flag for your liver. Second, if you're waking up in the middle of the night or feeling disturbed between 2 and 4, that's another sign. And one of the remedies we've given you so far is some warm lemon water in the morning. So what are some other signs?
And don't forget the skin problems.
Oh, yeah.
That we mentioned earlier too.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Skin
issues. That's another big sign that you could use some liver love.
Liver loving.
Yeah. There's also plenty, and you guys will probably look this stuff up, plenty of herbal tinctures and bitters. The liver loves bitters, right? A lot of people know like eating dark leafy vegetables, although, in today's world, everybody's just super hyper focused on oxalates, that they're running away from every green on the planet.
English.
Well, oxalates are they're protective chemicals in plants that can be high in some and they can disturb some people, give them histamines.
Like, are you saying kale? Because that seems to be the one
kale,
thing
any
people
dark
like.
leafy green.
Like, you say dark leafy green. It used to be spinach. I grew up with Popeye though.
Strong.
Like Popeye, but now it seems like the dark leafy green, when you say that to someone, they go right to kale.
Yeah, it's been real highly popularized. That vegetable has been promoted big time in the last 10 years.
Kudos to kale.
They killed it. Kale is in the limelight.
Kale's up there.
Yeah. So nettle, for example, like normally if you see any type of liver repair herbal, it'll probably have nettle in it. And there's nettle teas. Another daily thing that you can do that's really easy to get is dandelion root tea.
Oh, and you can make it.
Yeah.
I'm Italian.
It's pretty darn tasty.
We grew up that way.
Uh-huh.
Eating dandelions. You can eat them. They're not actually weeds. And what is that favorite saying? It's only a weed when you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because every plant on earth has a function.
If you can find it.
If you can find it. Sometimes it's just cleaning your floor, but every plant has a purpose. Mm-hmm. But dandelion, even dandelion leaves and salad.
Do you sell it here? Do you sell any dandelion?
We do. We do have dandelion.
Do you mix it with chicory?
And we do have chicory. We have a lot. Well, we have an entire apothecary line where we carry all natural herbal supplements. So nettle and licorice root and ashwagandha and mushrooms and all kinds of different.
So you got plenty of liver support stuff here.
It doesn't need to come out of a bottle that's brown with a white cap.
Mm-hmm.
It can actually come out of the earth and be capsulized. So it's good stuff.
So simple, slow things, right? Not push hard. Go, just don't slam your liver with a bunch of stuff.
So
if you don't have
start with some easy water.
Simple daily things go a long way in terms of the things to start doing, but the heavy load is the things to stop doing.
Now, people have asked in the past, when you start doing like a lemon water, what are they expecting to feel? Like, 5 days out, they notice a little something, 6 days out, because it is really passive, so it's not going to be like something changes overnight.
Yeah.
But after a couple days, you'll start to notice, hey, I'm not waking up in the middle of the night anymore, uncomfortable. Or maybe I'm having a more smooth move, if you get my drift.
Normally with liver healing in general, people start to just feel a general sense of better mood. It's often said in holistic medicine and natural medicine, you know, people that are always angry have liver issues. Like, that's where that's connected to. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So most people that tend to start getting their liver to detox gently over time are also becoming just happier versions of themselves.
What is that connection?
I wish I knew. I don't know. I can't say I know exactly. But there's some type of energy there that is very much connected to the liver. But, you know, I think it's all, you know, the body has so many different meridians, and then we've got chakras. So this map's been here for a long time. You just got to study it, you know. I mean, acupressure, all that stuff. You know, I have all these different pathways in the body. It's super interesting.
We do that too.
Yeah.
So when we put people on the Megan bed, we've had.
I think it's so awesome.
We offer a medical grade massage bed called Megan, and it's hands free, but it's heated jade stones that run up and down your lymphatic system. And we've had clients say that afterwards, their constipation has dissipated. They're sleeping better at night. And I had one patient. She was so funny. She goes, "Why didn't you tell me that my pee would smell so bad when getting off that?"
And you need to drink a lot of water.
And you gotta drink a lot of water because it detoxifies you. So just doing something as simple as getting a massage to loosen up your lymphatic system to help stimulate cleansing and detoxification is absolutely enormous.
For sure.
Absolutely enormous.
Also, you know, I won't just say ladies, but they tend to focus on this more than men. Hypothyroidism, right?
Okay.
So, you know, hormone conversion has to happen, you know, to get the thyroid hormone to be able to get into the cell. That happens in two major places, just in the gut itself, and in the liver too. So a lot of people that are trying to fix their thyroid issues.
Most people think hormones have nothing to do with your gut.
A lot. Like,
so
that's like a big manufacturing
right?
plant of hormone.
But we don't think that. We're not taught this.
I know.
So there's so many things that we miss in our just everyday general health education. That's why it's so important that we do stuff like this to just try to teach people.
It's a lot, more. But you know, most of us are only going to tend to focus on things that are bothering us. Yeah.
Right.
So you get to it when you get to it, I guess.
So your hormones have a lot to do with your gut, and we really need to do a talk one day on just how all of that plays, like the different. Think of your gut as like your central processing system, or it's like if you go to a bus depot, everything passes through here. So it's really the brainchild of what's happening. Yeah, it's the CPU of what's happening in your body.
For sure.
So what are some next steps? So let's say someone's been doing water for a couple weeks and that's been helping, and they're ready to do a deep cleanse. What does that look like?
Well, most deep cleansers are just going to look like a series of, especially for liver / gallbladder type of cleanses, are going to typically be highly herbal. There may be some charcoals involved, you know, activated charcoal.
This is not the charcoal that you put on your Coleman grill and cook your turkey with.
This is not Kingsford.
Okay? But the first time I ever did charcoal, it was weird because I think of charcoal as something you cook with, and something you put in your fish tank to clean up.
You don't think of ever eating it.
You don't think of eating it. So, what is the value of doing something like that?
Well, the key of having activated charcoal is it binds.
And it's a
toxins.
Powder or a capsule. That's the way I've seen it.
Well,
right?
It's still technically going to be a powder, but yeah, it's always a powder.
It's always a powder. So, don't freak out.
Yeah. So it just gets into, you know. You're going to release things. Detoxification is pushing things out of cells and releasing them back into the bloodstream. So
but charcoal normally it grabs things.
It holds it. It binds to things. So it's a carrier.
So all these toxins kind of like static cling themselves to the charcoal. That's my understanding. And then your body can expel it through its expellation methods, whether that's your skin or your urine or your poop.
Yeah, preferably your poop. And that's another thing about, you know, going through the detoxification process is finding one that's extremely gentle on other organs, right? And knowing the sequence, just knowing the sequence of how to do a detox or cleanse/detox, because they're not the same, and these words often get interchanged in the community.
So let's talk about that really quick.
Really quick, what we got?
Okay, the difference between a cleanse and a detox.
So think of a cleanse as more of just getting your bowels flowing, okay? Just getting your bowels flowing. Washing with just water. We're putting in high moving food, you know, fast moving foods, hydrating foods, things that can just get the system to have a lighter load and kind of get the gunk out, if you will. Just lighten the load, lighten everything up, hydrate very well, so like that you can start.
Cleaning your bucket.
Yeah, we're just getting cleaned up.
Cleaning your bucket, getting ready, cleaning your mop off, getting ready.
Don't put any more credence on cleansing than that. Okay.
Gotcha.
That's what it's for.
But the detox.
Some people like to also include parasite removal in that cleanse bucket. That's fine. But detoxing is more about cellular cleaning. It's really more about getting things at a much deeper level within your body to function way better, which takes a lot longer time. It also probably means you're also looking to detox metals 9 times out of 10. Because metals cause a lot of dysfunction and misregulation in the body.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we get a lot of questions on how do metals get in your body.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
It's a metal cup.
Yeah. Dental. What you cook in?
Medicine. Actually, believe it or not, there's metals ground up in your medicine. Sorry.
We didn't put it there.
No. They put it there. The they of the world.
And the air.
How are we getting metals from the air?
I don't know. I don't know who's putting them there. I just know they're there.
Interesting. So you can't avoid getting heavy metals in your body. It's coming through your water. I mean, if you think about it, when you turn your faucet on, that's a metal pipe. So over time, think of a river that runs over a rock. Over time, that rock that was once jagged becomes smooth because little pieces of that rock chip away with the pressure of the water. So over time, the same thing happens in your pipes, in your own house. So you can't avoid getting heavy metals, but you can control how your body processes and moves through that and moves it through your body. Your body should be able to flush out heavy metals naturally. It holds on to the ones it needs because some of those heavy metals actually have mineral value. Not much, but there's some purpose for it. 90% of the metals we get in have no purpose. They just weight.
The dangerous part about metals is they disturb equilibrium with other minerals in your body. Mm-hmm. And so most people are already pretty mineral deficient, or at least the ratios of the proper mineral alignment for them is off anyway. So the body will start to leverage these foreign heavy metals in their place, right? This isn't good at all, right? So the body's genius. It's going to take what's available and use it.
And that's the difference between talking with Ken about stuff like this and talking to an MD. An MD is looking at how to fix a problem. Like you come, you say, I hurt, they learn about that pain. Ken's experience is looking at the body as a whole machine and understanding how every cog works together. So he's not really focusing on that pain, but, well, how does that link to this, links to this, link to this? So this is the difference between someone that builds and designs complete computer systems to just the person that programs. So that's the best way I like to compare it to people, to try to explain it, because people are like, well, why would I talk to Ken and not my doctor? Well, I think you should talk to both, actually.
Both. I'm not
they're both, because a computer programmer can't exist without the person that developed the entire system in the first place. So Ken's studying the body as if it's a machine and understanding how all the cogs work. And that information is really wonderful to pair with what your doctor has to offer. So we would never say talk to one person over the other, but rather build your army of health professionals that are helping you and surrounding you, because the more input you have, like they say, it takes a village. And it really does, because no one person knows everything. So use all the tools available to you.
You might find something that works for you that no one ever thought it would.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the things I love about this world is there's so many pathways to wellness that there's no excuse not to try.
So I had a person reach out to me and ask me about how beans play a role with cleaning the liver and the kidneys.
Jeez. I heard this before with the kidney beans specifically.
Yeah, well, beans in general, she had asked, and I said, let me bring that up to
I
Ken.
don't remember.
Because the way I understand it with some of the research I've done is that
It was kidney bean is what I remember.
beans kind of help. They kind of act like a charcoal in a way. They kind of help bind the toxins so your body can push them out. But
I'd have to look
it's
up
been
like
it's been a while since I've read that.
Is it the starch of the bean or the proteins? Or is it
I'm
the
not
skin
sure.
of the
I'm
bean?
not sure.
I wonder.
But I
That's
thought
pretty
it was
interesting.
kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
So, what kind of foods? You said cleanse with gentle foods. What kind of foods would support liver health?
Well, if you typically eat a lot of heavy fatty foods, just lighten it up. Start taking a break. Just start dialing it down a bit.
Like
If
that
you-
greasy hamburger?
I mean, just saying. I mean, that's a big part of its load, right? And if you just feel like you're starting to see some of the symptoms that we were talking about earlier coming on, then just start lightening it up. Just start taking a step back and see if those symptoms start to subside.
We're not talking
Then you don't
sugar
know.
fat though. We're talking fat. Like what kind of
Talking
fatty
fat.
foods?
I'm talking like just fatty foods, oils, too much fatty meat, period. Just fat in general. If you just have a lot.
Don't understand the
But
difference,
especially,
right, between fats and sugars.
well, the other part about the fat story is, what fat? That's a whole problem in itself. Is it the high omega-6, processed oil like canola kind of stuff that you're eating a ton of and don't realize it because it's in the processed foods? Like that's a whole nother diet discussion in general that probably got your liver sluggish in the first place. And then there's the stuff that we didn't talk about that we think is obvious. We'll just say it. The sugar,
Yeah.
right? The sugar beats the living dickens out of the liver over time. It's just a heavy load. It's a toxin to it.
But we're not talking
For the
all
liver.
sugars.
Just the
I mean,
processed stuff.
It took
Guys,
me time to understand this too.
Yeah.
There's natural sugars that are natural. Therefore, your body naturally knows what to do with it. So, fruit is a natural sugar. Your body naturally knows how to break that sugar down. It's the sugars that we make as man. Those,
Yeah.
the crystal granulized sugar, that little sparkles on that cookie that you love, those sugar crystals, it's that sugar that we're talking about when we say sugar. We're not necessarily talking about now, because there's sugar in a lot of things. There's sugar in meat, naturally.
But probably the biggest elephant in the room is high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is killing.
Which goes by how many
livers.
different names?
Oh,
Like
a lot.
40?
It's
So there's high
crazy.
fructose corn syrup. What's another real common one?
One of the saccharides. They call it different things, but that's not what I want you to think about when we talk about sugar. A million names. Just focus on high fructose corn syrup if that's something that you're drinking. Look in your sodas and things that could be a first simple shift for you. Just move to sugar.
Just plain
just
sugar.
get to sugar. Just move away from high fructose corn syrup and go to sugar. And then maybe one day you might move from sugar over to stevia or monk fruit, which is like, it's sweet. It's a real plant-based sweetener.
Yeah, and that's the key. You're moving to a less processed, more
Yeah.
plant-based version of it.
And that also reduce your sensitivity to sweetness. So when you eat a lot of foods with high fructose corn syrup, you're eating extremely high amounts of sweet, and the sweet factor is extremely high, hundreds of percents higher than if you were just eating regular sugar.
Right. And it kind of, it changes your taste buds. So all of a sudden, a carrot doesn't taste sweet anymore. Carrots are sweet.
And
They're supposed to be sweet.
and
Matter of fact, tomatoes are supposed to have a
why
sweetness to
why
them.
does a chef have to put a sugar glaze on carrots?
That's a good point. So we've talked about starting gently with some water.
Yeah.
We've talked about changing some of your foods. So if we were going to go into a deep dive, what kind of deep dives would you recommend? Or how would you recommend someone seek more information if that's how they feel like they need to go?
I mean, you can Google You can look up liver cleanses, gallbladder cleanses. I would go to liverdoctor.com. I think they have a lot of good resources there if you want to look into something like that. Another thing to eat daily to start increasing is apples. Apples have malic acid in them, and if you start increasing your intake of apples, you will start gently cleaning up your liver, because that malic acid will start to break down those lipids that are all jumped up in there. Start letting to flow out.
That's a lot of information. So I know one of the questions that we had, people were asking, how does your liver work with the kidneys? How do the two synergize with each other?
Wow, it's the liver has that primary responsibility of being a filter, but the kidneys are filter too, and it's not just filtering the blood, it's also filtering the lymphatic system. So they both are workhorses. If the liver is the master. If the liver can't filter it, it sends it to the kidney. And this is why understanding how to do detoxes and cleanses is really important. Because if someone's already having really hard problems with their kidneys, and you start detoxing in a very particular way, and you don't have the right binders in the blood, then instead of going out the bowel, putting all that pressure maybe through the liver, it's going on the kidney, and it's providing too much stress there. So some people put themselves in more danger, or really start feeling really bad when they do detoxes. It's not something to do just do a lot of research before you jump into it, because everybody's got a different methodology.
And can we find some of that research on your site? Do you have?
I personally don't have any of that on my site, but I'm willing to share any information if you want. Just reach out to you. I can send you.
There's a link on our website, givemesomogreen.com, under clinicians that we partner with, and you will find links to Ken and also links to some of our talks there as well. And I know that Danny, who handles our creative marketing, has been working on getting that tab much more easily used for you. So if you have trouble finding it, just send us an email at info@givemesomogreen, or you can reach out to Ken directly at Newbill of Health to get more information or have a conversation with him as well. But as always, anyone that, of course, works with us and we guide to Ken, we have some special perks that we give you. So always take advantage of those things.
Always, yeah.
So I know stuff like this concerns people, especially right now. You've heard the COVID thing. Either you've lost weight, gained weight, drank too much, didn't drink enough. But there's all these, a lot of people have either eaten their way through COVID or drank their way through COVID. So I feel like a lot of people are suffering from ailments right now. We don't fully understand how that's affecting us.
Yeah.
So what do you say to the person that, I'm going to say binge drinks, because I can't find a better way to say it. So how can someone because we know that drinking does a lot for your liver. It puts a heavy strain. What would you say, what does drinking do to your liver in layman's terms?
It's like anything else that breaks down in the body in layman's terms. It's too much load. You're putting too much pressure on a system that can't take the load you're putting on it.
Okay.
So it breaks. That's most of what our health problems are. We're overdoing something to cause an imbalance. Because anytime we start getting into the conversations about all the mechanics of everything,
right,
we remove the source of the problem, which is human behavior, 90% of the time. Everybody likes to get into the weeds and talk about the minutiae of all the little intricate details, but none of that matters if you're not going to do what the hell you're supposed to do.
Genetics at some point stop mattering.
So if you're just going to beat it down, if you're going to abuse yourself, you're going to break something. You're going to throw something out of balance.
Yeah, regardless. Don't blame
And we know we are. And we know we are.
It's like,
so
remember we had a talk about there's two twins, and they're both born the same day, obviously they're twins. They have the exact same DNA. They have the exact same genetic makeup.
Yeah.
But at 36, one twin is having massive health problems, and the other one is perfectly healthy. So when you see, and there's study after study after study talking about this, proving that genetics plays a small part, but your human behavior and your environmental situation, what you put in, affects your body way more than genetics.
So
it exacerbates it. So it goes back to that old PBS show, You Are What You Eat. Literally. You literally are what you eat. So
we're not just
looking at that
we're not
stuff.
just what we eat, we're what we think, we're what we feel, we make ourselves sick with thoughts and poor self-esteem and poor self-talk. All of that stuff manifests itself inside of your body and those off systems. We create our own stress when you're sitting there, you know, your heart's beating rapidly.
Oh, we've all done it.
Come on.
Haven't you ever been like sitting outside of maybe it's an interview. Maybe you're sitting outside an interview, or maybe you have to get on stage and you're going to be talking to 20, 30, 40 people, maybe 1,000 people, and you feel that. I mean, and you hear, I mean, there's stars even that will talk about how they vomit before they get on stage. Your body doesn't say, oh, you're about to get on stage. Bleh. You create that. You literally force your body to create this whole series of events that squeezes this, stretches this, and forces your body to respond. So if you really think about it, it's true. What you think creates what you feel. What you feel creates how your body is going to respond and how you're going to react.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff is really, really important to think about. But I know a lot of people, as they go into the new year, this is the largest drinking season of the year. So be kind. So what would you say to people that, you know, there's holiday party after holiday party, there's alcohol everywhere. So how do you recommend saying, okay, if you know you're going to this holiday party on this day, what would be a good couple days? Like, I know I had heard once from another partner we work with, Dr. Doug Morris, had said to us, you know, for every one drink you have, think of 24 hours. It takes your body to get that one drink out. So if you have 3 drinks, it takes 3 days for your body to fully cleanse that out.
Yeah.
So if you're having 5 drinks, boys, I'm talking to you. It takes 5 days.
Wait. What's wrong with the ladies? They can't have 5?
Men always drink women under the table. Am I wrong? They just do. So as you're going through the holiday season,
I just want that to be known. I did not say that.
I said that. I take full responsibility for that comment.
Cool.
So as we go through this holiday season, think about that because you have holiday parties and you're going to enjoy that glass of wine and you're going to enjoy that craft beer. For the love of Lord, we're in Charlotte. We have more breweries per capita than any other state. More breweries and more churches.
Interesting combination.
But so if you're going to drink, just give yourself grace in between these events to flush your body so that it can heal, so that you're not suffering from it in January and having what I like to call holiday hangover. Actually, holiday hangover doesn't have anything to do with drinking. It has to do with the excessive drinking, food, stress, shopping, because it is not normal for a human being to sit on the computer for 8 hours on Amazon. But this season, that's exactly what happens. Or they're running around. These are all abnormal activities. So now all of a sudden, we're taking on more stress, and we're taking on extra activities that we normally wouldn't do, and we're taking on really rich foods that we normally don't take on, and we're going to all these parties and drinking. So there's 4 things working against you, which lead to that January holiday hangover.
Or the flu.
So a lot of these things can play a big role. So give yourself grace. Drink lemon water. Think about the foods that you're eating. Don't load. If it looks pretty, chances are it's not pretty in here. So give yourself some grace in between some of these meals. And
also part of that grace, if you had been working on managing your weight, just know nothing's going to happen while you're drinking.
Your body shuts down.
Yeah,
so let's talk about that.
It's just
It
just wants to process the alcohol first as energy before anything else. So you're not going to burn fat.
Or the food you ate.
Yeah, so that's just not going to burn. So you'll probably remain the same weight or maybe gain a little bit of weight for a few days. So just check that. Like, just know that's par for the course, so that you're not all worked up about it and then totally derail. If you do have, some goals this season, because a lot of people just don't realize they can have that kind of effect on. Like, I only had a couple of drinks. I know, but that's like about 48 hours for some people of alcohol processing that may have to happen. Now you can push it forward with working out and things like that to help kind of push that process along, burn some calories. But yeah, you can expect some slowdown from whatever you're trying to do in terms of your weight management.
Now, and you had said to me this time of year, your body slows down anyway.
It's that time of year, don't you feel it?
Your body starts to
less sunlight.
Slow down. You start to crave a little less food. You start to crave different foods. This is something I called kind of like, Ken, I don't want salad. It's cold. I want it to be warm. And he goes, then eat it warm. And I'm like, oh, it's that easy. Yeah, it's that easy. This time of year, and that's one of the things I think a lot of times, and in the past even I've read, oh no, you've got to stick with this, got to stick with that. First of all, fresh veggies are hard to come by in season this time of year. If you get them, they don't taste great because they're from hot houses.
And if they don't taste great, they probably don't have
the nutrients.
Yeah.
So if it's pale, eating it, it's probably pale in what its nutrients are as well. So during this time of year, like Ken said, and it was the best piece of advice you gave me, honestly, this time of year, because I'm like, shit, I'm gonna go backwards from all the work I've done. No, just eat what feels good. So instead of having raw kale or a salad, I'll steam it.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting, just don't steam it to death where it's like wilting, it no longer resembles the vegetable, because then it's just green slime. It's not the same. So that's a good way to do it. But what are some other things that you think people can do as they go in the holidays and think about how to heal? Because I think that's where the big, New Year's resolution comes from, because they feel like shit because they overloaded for 2 months.
Well, I don't really think most of the people watching this don't know what to do. Stop overeating. It's a holiday day.
Not holidays.
It's a holiday. So at least give that some credence, right?
Right.
Like, it was a day. It's not, oh, I'm still hanging on to the holiday for 5, 6, 7 days.
It's not from November 1st through January 1st.
Yeah.
It's a sprinkling in between. So when you're at those holiday parties, what I found was really helpful is don't grab this plate, grab this one.
Get a little smaller.
Get a little
You can make more trips, though.
Yeah.
It's like toppings,
It's exercise.
Right?
It's exercise. So enjoy yourself over the holidays, but try some of these tips. Remember that one drink equals about 12 to 24 hours to process. So know that going into it as you're at these holiday parties. Know that if you're going to be abundant one night, give yourself some freedom to be less abundant for a couple nights. So let your body catch up to that process so it doesn't all hit you with that holiday hangover in January. Try some lemon water. And another piece of advice that you had given me in the past is some gentle stretching before you go to bed to help move some of this stuff through, because your body does a lot of work at night. And you had actually said that. Your liver does a lot of its work at night. So just some gentle stretching before you go to bed. Just reaching up, leaning side to side. Just give some space. Think about creating space in your abdomen and your gut so that your body can expel a little bit easier.
Yeah. So that's good. That's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
And
sure.
so if you have any questions, let us know. So let's talk really quick about December, because it's the third week is, I think it's a Christmas. I don't know the date. What do we have?
Let's see.
Oh, that's a really good picture.
December.
Let's see. One moment, guys. We're going to check with you, and then we'll let you know what our topic's going to be at the same time, too. What do you think is a good topic for December?
For December? Huh. Let's see what they want to hear. What do they want to talk about?
Yeah, let us know. Reach out to me. I know a lot of you will send me texts after this, so just let me know what topic you'd like to hear about for December. What's really eating you, or maybe it's something that you want us to help you with or have a conversation about as you go into 2021 and what that looks like. Perhaps even immunity might be a good conversation to have, and things that we can do to boost immunity.
Start with your liver.
So what's the date?
It's the 26th.
It's the 26th, so it's the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm in if you're in.
Are
we
we
can
here?
Zoom in.
Are we here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, we'll probably Zoom that one so that we can be home with our families the day after Christmas. So we'll probably do a Zoom for you, but we'll still be live on Facebook, and of course we'll make sure that's on the YouTube channel, and then we'll come back live in person in January. So let us know what you want to talk about for December. Otherwise, we'll toss around some ideas. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of you that tuned in today live. Thank you for all of you that are going to tune in the future and watch this on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you. Keep us posted. And if you ever need to reach out to Ken and you cannot find him, is on our page, on our main page under Wellness Partners. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Would you be so kind as to help us with that?
Bye,
Have a wonderful
everybody.
day. Bye.